The system is failing. We're going to have more homelessness, more unemployment, and the government has to print more money. It's a command and control economy where the government tells you everything. I just don't trust our government. And they're going to have to start printing pretty quickly. And the more they print, the less value, purchasing power the dollar has, or the loonie, or the yen, or the peso. People are talking about inflation. I think we're in depression right now, and we're going to be the biggest depression in world history. In the 1970s, that's when the world was changing. The biggest bust in the history of the world is coming up. It's pensions. They trusted the government. They trusted their pension would be there, and it's going to go bust. And that's us. We get crushed.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As guys, the SEC continues with their settlement season. They announced charges against 16 Wall Street firms for widespread long-standing failures to maintain and preserve electronic communications. The firms agreed to pay combined penalties of more than $1.1 billion. The reason this is being shown to all of you is provide you with the insight that now is the time of year the SEC is most likely to settle with Ripple. They've been settling cases, settled with Boeing. They received penalties of $1.1 billion now. And I believe if Gary Gensler is a logical actor, which he might not be, but if he is, the SEC would want to get as much money from Ripple as possible. Ripple is willing to settle if the SEC does not declare XRP as security. And the fact that this time of year is happening the way it is gets me extremely excited. We have a liquidity crisis happening in global markets. The British pound is crashing. The euro is crashing. The yen is crashing. We see the strength of the US dollar relative to all of these global currencies going to the moon. But in reality, the dollar is crashing as well. The dollar is going to the moon relative to other Ponzi currencies. And the US dollar, being the global reserve currency, is making it go up right before it collapses. The moment it collapses, XRP will be a neutral bridge asset that will be used to democratize the global payment system and to force the situation into a world where the West and the dollar cannot bully or sanction other countries. That's what this is about. Russia, China, India, South Africa, and Brazil, consisting of 90% of the global population, they've banded together now, along with other countries that want to join, in an effort against the US dollar SWIFT system. I believe XRP is going to play an instrumental role in this. And even in Robert Kiyosaki's podcast recently, they were discussing this very system that we here in the XRP army have been exposing every single day. Please take a listen, as the XRP Army's talking points are now being circulated amongst the greatest investors and entrepreneurs.
Well, what is the digital yuan? To me, it is a beta test. Just the other day, and I'm almost done here, just the other day there was an article that came out by a man named Sergei Glazyev. And he is the Russian minister in charge of integration and macroeconomics for the Eurasian Economic Union. And he came out and he laid the fundamental principles by which the new U.S. post-dollar economic system will be based. And he goes on and says, and I quote, that it will not be based upon any particular currency as with the Bretton Woods order, but rather a market basket of local currencies tied more deeply to an array of real commodities such as gold, other precious metals, grain, hydrocarbons, sugar, etc.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, I have to state, this was being discussed in this video by Robert Kiyosaki on the Rich Dad channel. I personally found it shocking because I told to myself, the moment when in these type of podcasts, when we have people who are not necessarily the most tech savvy discussing the tech of baskets of currencies, interoperability, the digital yuan, CBDCs, that's when you know we're extremely close to everything launching. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't like central bank digital currencies, but they're coming, and I'm invested in the token that I believe will be the infrastructure for the new money on the planet. And that new money's about to be legally compliant. Now, Andy's segment in that clip talked about a basket of commodities and a basket of currencies backing the new system post-US dollar dominance. This is important as we've discussed this on this channel. The global currency reset will happen in alignment to a repricing of gold, silver, and potentially XRP. That's very real and something you cannot ignore. I believe XRP is going to be in for a massive bull run, and the ending of this case will only be the beginning. We still get relisted on exchanges. Ripple will IPO, XLS20 will launch, the Flare network is confirmed to be going live between October 24th and the first week of November. That is massive. All of these things together make for the XRP perfect storm. And after waiting for years, being laughed at and hated by most of crypto, the XRP army's finally gonna get the last laugh. Now guys, I want you to finish listening to what happened during this interview.
So think about the Chinese digital yuan. What better way to roll out a distributed ledger technology where you can show the world the veracity of everything that all of these countries have pegged? Why does the European Union not work? In theory, because there's nothing pegged to it. And each country is moving in different directions. But how about all of these countries coalescing not only against the maybe hatred's a strong word, but the universal dislike of the Western hegemony, so much so that we're seeing relationships being mended between Iraq and Iran, where they're building a railway, between Iran and Saudi Arabia. They're mending fences between countries who have hated each other for years. But you know the old statement, my enemy's enemy is my friend. They're all coalescing against a central theme. But that's not enough. We need to peg something. What are all the countries that own all the commodities? The BRICS, and all of the countries that are joining the BRICS own all the commodities. So what better way to roll out distributed ledger technology, but to show the pegging of all of the commodities pledged to the new BRICS currency, which they just announced is coming out? Why is gold tier 1? You tell me. Did they know that this was going to happen? The inevitability and the mathematics of the dollar's demise? Is it going to be the central peg to a new world reserve currency? What better way to show the immutability and the veracity of this pegging, but on a distributed ledger, Chinese digital yuan, which I believe will be the rails to a new system, the rails to the new BRICS system, to the BRICS currency. And when that happens, God help us in this country.
And ladies and gentlemen, look at where we are. Jerome Powell actively discussing a U.S. central bank digital currency. This has happened right after they announced the beginning of the rollout of FedNow. As this Ripple SEC case is rolling up on its conclusion, and the potential of a settlement grows likelier by the day, us seeing Jerome Powell talking about a CBDC system is no coincidence. The digital yuan, the digital dollar, the digitalization of the world's economic system is happening in real time, and 99.9% of the world is not paying attention. We are the 0.1% of people with our eyes glued to the screen every single day, witnessing our investment in XRP be validated and justified as a real asset that will be used for real utility and resolve real geopolitical problems. The US dollar dominance is being actively combated by the rest of the planet, while at the same time XRP is compliant in every other country in the world. The fact that XRP is being sued in the United States is no coincidence, as the US dollar is the world's reserve currency and XRP is a threat to that status. The United States is the only country on the planet that loses out on some of its power if XRP is adopted. And you guys can't forget it. That's part of the reason Ripple's getting sued. But that's also the reason why Ripple's gonna get away with this, with just a slap on the wrist. I believe a massive fine is in store, but I believe a settlement is likely. We've been seeing insiders, whales, buying up XRP left and right. We've been seeing the price appreciation expanding every single day. I believe they delayed the recent NFT launch and the Flare network a bit to align with an XRP bull run and settlement. And you guys have to be aware of how it all ends. Now before we continue, please listen to Jerome Powell talk about a central bank digital currency and how it would not be anonymous in the US if adopted.
We think that there are four characteristics of, if we were to pursue a CBDC, it would at a minimum have the following four characteristics. First is intermediated. Second is privacy protected. The third is identity verified. So it would not be anonymous. It would not be an anonymous bearer instrument. And fourth is transferable or interoperable. So we would be looking to balance privacy protection with identity verification, which has to be done, of course, in today's traditional banking system as well.
Now guys, I hope you all listened to what Jerome Powell had to say. This rollout of this new system is gradually happening, but then it'll happen all at once. Deutsche Bank Corporate Bank states in November 2022 high-value payments in Europe and cross-border payments globally will transition to ISO 20022. This is going to be massive, as I believe plenty of cryptos have bottomed already, as I believe we are seeing bullish momentum in the altcoins and in the CBDC infrastructure and in interoperable cross-border payment type cryptos. We see Quant showing extreme strength. We see XRP showing strength. Algorand, Stellar as well. They have all had healthy price growth in the recent week. And I think it's in anticipation for when they become multi-trillion-dollar solutions. This is the best show on earth no one's paying attention to. But the few of you that come here every single day to watch this channel, you're ready. With the settlement of this lawsuit, I believe trillions will flood into the market. And remember what Chris Larson said in my previous video. On-demand liquidity meant to solve a liquidity crisis. We're seeing a liquidity crisis globally right now. The euro, pound, yen are all getting weaker, and I believe with XRP's ability to unlock the idle nostro vostro capital, I think currencies will get strengthened again. But right now, we're in the expose the problem phase, and pretty soon will be an XRP being the solution phase. Hold strong, my friends. Our time is almost here. Now finally guys, if you aren't doing so already, follow me on OnlyFans down in the description below, as I'm posting on there every single day. Today's lesson is going to be on how to not lose money in the crypto space, as I believe that is the number one thing that'll make you the most money down the road. In addition, the link to my Discord community's free trial is posted on OnlyFans as well, as we approach the point where we need to start taking profits. That's when we need to start getting as educated as possible. I hope to see you all in there, and our first Q&A session will be tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.